Put your money in the bank, you know that in a difficult time, you can get it just at the hand. But now when you come and you find apologies, you find excuses, so you lose confidence. And these are a lot of issues connecting with the economy in the bank. And as a commercial bank, I cannot say it all because we are hand in hand, try to pressurize our regulator, the central bank, together with the government, to find a way out. Otherwise, our reputation will be externally bad, and which will lead to a reputational risk. Even the reputation will go up to our regulator. And then at the end, it looked as we are operating in an environment which is not according to international standard. Thank you.
We will move on to the central bank so that will give opportunity for people to interact. And one important word I took from the commercial bank or from Bruna is that the public have lost interest in the bank. So people are holding money in their houses rather than putting them in the bank. So can I now ask the central bank to come and enlighten us about what is happening, exchange rate, subsidies, how do we go about it? Thank you.
Even to the central bank, good morning everybody. It has not yet to come to the afternoon. Okay. I'm Marial Mabeng, Bank of South Sudan. In fact, I was coming on honoring invitation by Ebony Center for Strategic Studies. I was not delegated by the government to represent the bank. And therefore, whatever I will be saying here would be a little knowledge that I had, but the big knowledge is always with the boss. Okay. I'm here representing myself as an economic practitioner at the central bank. And Ebony has been from time to time inviting me for those forums, not only for lunch. But today, I have found myself representing the institution I belong to. Let me start with the option of the exchange rate, the history. It is a non-known to some few, but there are some people who may want to know how did it happen. Prior to 2015, we at the central bank were in consultation with the counterparts, other central bank governors. Then they were sending teams, and then they were saying, your exchange rate is artificial. It is distortionary to the economy. And the economy is always looking into the stability. There should be no distortion in the market. On that basis, we have accepted it, and then we adopted that we should do something on the exchange rate. There was a capital flight because prices of the oil and prices of dollars in South Sudan were very cheap, and then people were lavishly spending outside the country. And therefore, there was too much capital flight from South Sudan. And in macroeconomic perspective, we were thinking, let us rescue our economy. Our money should not be flowing outside the country. That was the initiative. Then we initiated that thing, and then it was rejected by the parliament. It was rejected by the parliament. And during the second scenario, we did justice to the parliament, saying that the parliament was having reservations. And the call was based on consultative meeting that was initiated by Vice President Dr. James Wani, who went to Kampala, he went to Kenya, and he called the ministers of finance and the governors of the central bank. They met in Juba, and then they were telling him, this is what we have been discussing with the central bank already, that they should make this alignment of the exchange rate. Therefore, we were requested at the central bank, the committee was formed to study the issues related to the exchange rate. During that study, that was initiated by the Vice President and directed by the President, we sat down and then we said, okay, let us look for the opportunities. There was the fixed exchange rate, which is having problems. Then there was also an issue of dollarization. Should we abandon South Sudanese pound? And then we go for dollarization. We said no. South Sudanese pound is the pride of the country because of the features that you can see in the pound. So we rejected that thing. We thought floating exchange rate would work. But we were so mindful also that floating exchange rate will cascade into everything. It will go into food, consumption basket of South Sudanese citizens. Therefore, we say, but this is the less evil option we could choose, because other things were not favorable to us. Fixing exchange rate was siphoning the resources of South Sudan to the neighboring countries, and therefore we rejected it. So we went for the floating of the exchange rate, and while we were doing that, floating exchange rate, we were thinking also subsidies should be removed. Subsidies should be removed by the Minister of Finance, because this one is a monetary policy related issue, and then subsidies are fiscal policy related issues. Now, to come back to respond to some of the questions that has been raised, like what Madam Baruna was saying, that the banking sector, people have lost confidence in banking sector, and it will deflect to the central bank, the regulator. It is true, Madam Baruna, but again, this thing goes back to honorable members of the parliament. They begin to pass the budget that has no resources. The resource envelope is known that they are low, and yet they pass the budget. Budget was estimated to be 36 the last fiscal year, but the parliament increased it to 46. And we were uninformed as the central bank to print more money. So that's where the expenditure has gone up, but the real money that is available were not there. Again, deficit financing, borrowing from the central bank, has been the reason of inflation and the pressure on the exchange rate. So these are the issues the bank has been struggling with, the central bank has been struggling with, and then they follow up to the commercial banks. If the parliament is to be given a budget, let them abide by what is proposed by the Minister of Finance. The parliament should not go and impose certain increases in the budget, because these are not real money. They are not collected, taxation is not there, and again, the depreciation of the exchange rate is related to fall in the oil prices. War is a different thing, but fall in the oil prices in the international market was the main driver of depreciation of the exchange rate. And if you can see, in the member countries, you can buy mineral water, but if you convert it into the exchange rate to see what does it cost in South Sudan, you will find that it is exactly the same. So, subsidies, to come back to the point of our discussion today, okay. is to say subsidies are always elusive. They are always elusive to the poor, and they are administratively costly. To administer them takes a lot of resources by itself. Say, for example, Honorable Tulio was saying that he goes to the farm. And if he was to have a poultry farm, and he would have a ranch where he keeps cattle, and then vegetables, by the time the food is laid on the table, he would not know the cost. He would not know the cost unless he goes to the market and see how much does it cost. And then he will come and say, okay, now what I have eaten in my house today costs this much according to the market prices. But he will not know by doing that. I was in one of the functions, and one of the moderators was telling me subsidies that were implemented in Soviet Union. Sorry, Honorable. That subsidies were implemented on bread. And then it happened that the children of the rich were playing with bread as a football instead of eating it, or buy the football so that they can come and play with it. But they were using bread for playing as a football. Now, with these subsidies, if we get it cheaper, we take it to Congo, this fuel. We take it to Congo and sell it there. We take it to Kampala to sell it where it is bringing high prices. So, I'm for subsidies, removal, if we were to do that. And I'm a monetarist, and therefore, I'm hurt, even to myself. Thank you for listening.
Even if you were not mandated, because that is your field, you know so much of it, you have given us a lot of information also. Monetary and physical related subsidies, which are not going together, and you are advising that they must always go together. And then the parliament should not be increasing the budget when the Minister of Finance presents to them the budget. I am a parliamentarian, but I want to say the parliament don't increase the total. If the Minister of Finance says 2 billion, the parliament gives it 2 billion, but they deduct and increase within. That's what the parliament is doing. If they see there's a budget too much in an area and yet there is a deficit in another area, they deduct from that area and increase in this area. So you will find that some ministries will get increases, some ministries will get deduction, but the total budget that is presented is the same. I think we have a lot of food for thoughts now. We will open up for discussion. We have 55 minutes for discussions. I would ask people to be very precise to the point so that many of us can have opportunities to also give their views. There's a young man at the corner there who wants to start. Can we pass the mic around?
Fail, it did not work. Again, you are coming up with the same scenario that when subsidies are stopped, it is going to kill the black market. It beats my logic. Because I don't understand what a government is. After all, government is supposed to be for public. And after all, what the current government is doing is for elites, not for the people. And someone put the beneficiaries are only government and government employees, not people. Therefore, government of Salva Kiir is lucky that it got the population that is so ignorant of itself. There should have been an uprising to topple the government. Because if I am angry, what do I have to do with that government? So, what I want to say is, what has been the use of oil production? In practice, the oil production did not benefit us at all. It is for only government officials that have been benefiting. The Juba is not tarmac. Everywhere is not tarmac. Why do we have to pay you from the subsidy, from the removing the money from fuel and pay you who don't do anything. Why do we have to be paid?
Thank you.
Woman block. I don't know good say that. Kulumara, نعمل workshop, kulumara workshop. ورشة عمل كويس؟ بنناقش هو كويس. بنناقش حاجات من كل تفك بعدين نستفيد فيه مع بعض. لأنه هسه سلام نقول نسكالام ده ما في حاجة بحسب. لأن أول حاجة كنا نجيب السلام. كنا ما نجيب السلام في البلد عندنا بس بناخذ حاجات بيجين في ورا جاي بيجين في داخل القاعدة. ما في حاجة براجي ده.
Thank you from Breaking Female Service.
Okay, let's ask ourselves what after removing the fuel subsidies. Of course, this will mean making the rich richer and the poor poorer. Because if we remove the subsidies, the money will go into the pockets of the people that we know, and after that, we, the poor people, we will remain poor. And if at all we are to remove the subsidies, we will have to regulate the market. Because if you look at these water sellers, okay, now the market, everything is very expensive, minus removing the fuel subsidies. What if we remove the subsidies? What will happen? Everything will go up and the market will just die. So we need to regulate. If at all we are to remove it, then we need strict people that will regulate the market and make sure that everything goes as planned. Otherwise, we will remain poor and poorer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for organizing this nice forum and the presenters and the discussants for your valuable information. And even the information we got from Minister of Finance, from Central Bank, they were very, very valuable. In fact, we are in the darkness. Sometimes we don't understand what is happening. But for me now, I'm for removal of subsidy, as my sister was saying, other people were saying. In fact, we know that the subsidy was meant for something, but it was abused. It was good for development, for the water tankers, for the buses, for school children to go, that was the development. But it was done without regulations. When you see the policies, you have to copy the policies of other people. When you have the buses, there should be regulations. If I give you the fuel, you should have 10 trips or 5 trips. Somebody should sign on your logbook here, sign there. But if the Minister of Finance the Undersecretary was saying that we give them fuel, they remove it. How do they remove it? How many trips has it gone? I should regulate it. So this is what you are lacking. You have policies, you have good ideas, but you don't have regulation for those ideas. Remove it, you don't need it. You don't need to something. Because you are empowering some people. You are empowering some people, and those people who are in need, they are not getting it. I'm Tom Shulmanek. I'm a medical doctor by career, but now I'm practicing sport. I'm Secretary General of South Sudan National Olympic Committee.
Important topic and exciting. My question goes to Honorable Tulio. In your discussion, it's clear that it's going to be a tug of war for the Ministry of Finance and the official involved to convince the Parliament in removing the subsidy. And in the presentation, it's very clear that the losers of the subsidy are the common people. And I tend to wonder, because parliamentarians are the voices of the people, and if it's going to be very difficult to convince the parliamentarians to remove the subsidy, then who are the voices of the people then?
Thank you, Madam, for this opportunity. I'm going to listen it. First of all, I would like to appreciate Mr. Luandi for organizing this great round table. It's really very, very good. And also, I would like to appreciate all presenters here. My question is that, Betty, if you go to the market, all day, the commodities price is different and up. How can we reduce the prices of the commodities in the market? This is one. And then two, what is the role of the parliamentarians? They're supposed to regulate the laws which can people in the country. Why we should not regulate the laws which can guide our people? Because we know now our people is really suffering. This country is suffering. ناس تعبانين لأنه اقتصاد بتاعنا بقى منتهي مرة واحدة. أنت لو روح في السوق كل مرة اقتصاد بتاعنا فوق، كل مرة اقتصاد بتاعنا فوق. أنت بنلقى الاقتصاد أو أنت لما تسأل كل زول أو تاجر في محل بتاعه بيقول إنه ضريبة غالي، هو اللي ضريبة غالي. بس يوم أجي أعرف أجال بتاعه فوق. أنا ما أعرف إنه كحكومة أو إحنا كحكومة إحنا بنعمل شنو عشان إحنا نقلل التاكسيشن للناس اللي بيعملوا بيزنس. إحنا بنقلل التاكسيشن كيف؟ لأنه كل زول بيكون أجاته صعب وإنتوا عارفين كويس البلد ماشي بوضع ما كويس. How can we reduce the prices in the market? Thank you very much.
Thank you. So you're asking the discussion.
And by name, I'm John Dow, student of Stanford International University, College of Economy. My question is to Central Bank. Why the Central Bank is keep inflation or floating rate, yet there's no GDP in the country. The GDP in the country is zero. Why do you keep inflation or floating rate in the country? That is one question to Central Bank. Also, a question to NIFED. I have also a question to Director of NIFED. Who is the loser of subsidies of fuel? It is the staff of government institution, because if you get employment in NIFED today, tomorrow you will back. So the losers are the staff of NIFED. So that is a question to Engineer Bokak. Also, I have a question to Minister of Finance, that the policy of the country, there is no monitoring and evaluation. No monitoring and evaluation, and people talk about it. Why don't we form the institution for monitoring and evaluation in South Sudan? Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. By name, I'm David Maj from South Sudan Civil Society Alliance. Yes, of course, you are demanding us for the support of the fuel price. Yes, you can easily be supported. But I believe we will cry that before that we are opposing the devaluation of the dollar against our national currency. We are about to be arrested because that is a government decision, it must be implemented. We say yes, we can support it today, but tomorrow we will all of us cry because of what we have done today. Today, everybody is crying because of the dollar. Some families who were sent out for school, now they are within us here today. Some people who are using private cars, they are using today the same as. So, make that decision. It is a well-designed, very concrete decision whereby tomorrow we will not cry again. Because, yes, of course, you are our leaders, we want for you to lead us. But we wish you to lead us to the better future that we were dreaming for, rather than we move today as a decision, but the end of the decision there is no light. We end up losing the direction. Yes, the support is there, that's settled for you. But make sure the decision is perfect for all of us. Thank you.
Clearly, I think the debate in Parliament over the budget this year will be really fascinating. In terms of questions, I mean, one of the questions that the study posed was why, when prices are constant, or when the fuel cost was constant, did the vehicle prices go up, did the fare prices go up? I guess one question of the study, and maybe this takes us away from some of the political discussions we're having now, it's a bit more technical, is, you know, in the context of the budget, we're discussing opportunity costs. So either you spend your money on the fuel subsidy, or you spend it on health, or you spend it on education. Likewise, in the context of the fuel subsidy, I wonder whether, in looking at it, people have taken into account the opportunity cost of the drivers themselves. So if you have to queue to buy your fuel, and you have to queue for 2 days to buy your fuel, then you've got to put your prices up because you've got to make up for your lost income. So I think the other thing is also understanding the inefficiencies within the economy that arose out of the fuel subsidy. So recognising that there's a value of money, a value of time for people who are queuing. But anyway, it's a rather more technical question than the really fascinating political discussion you're having now. But thank you very much.
We need opportunity like this to speak to the managers so that they can get to know the grievances that we have, the common people. Removing subsidies or not removing subsidies, we know very well that if we remove the subsidies, even the common people are not going to benefit, and if we maintain it, we also don't benefit. We have seen that from the flotation of the dollar rate. We didn't get the benefit. We also didn't get the benefit when the central bank maintained a minimum rate. So what is the problem? The problem is basically the management problem. Whatever decision that you're going to come with, however good it is, and it's not going to be implemented, there are no managers to do it, then it's not going to achieve the intended objective. So this is what you need, the MPs, the ministers, the people that are concerned, like the NILPIT. It's a management question. NILPIT knows already that it's losing millions, billions of pounds in bringing fuel. Can't they set up a refinery? Because they don't have the management expertise needed. That's why they can't do it. This is personal how I can put it. It's the same thing that affecting South Sudan institutions all over. So until we address the management question, whatever golden ideas that we can bring, however much we have the resources, nothing we can achieve. This is my comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Who would like to comment?
Yeah. Thank you very much. I think the whole problem is overspending in this country. My question goes like this. There is no financial statement, whatever, being read so that people know what's going on. The issue of money kept secret until when we are in trouble like this. My question to the parliament is that, is there a forum to bring the four actors together in order to study the crisis before it is approved by the parliament? I mean the central bank, the NILPIT, and the Ministry of Finance. I think they should sit first and look at this thing, the budgets, the expenditures, so that before it is tabled before the parliament. Finally, the issue of management. There is a lot of poor management, and we need to come up with a new strategy, new plans, so that we address the poor population.
Yeah, the paper was very good, and the discussion gave us a lot of things, and then the Nile pad and the rest. But my 3 minutes, I will target it to the Ministry of Finance, because they need our support. But I was saying, how can we support you now without telling us in which way? Just reduction? You have to, this forum should have been yours actually, to explain to us what are your strategy, what are your procedures. And even also the problem of our country, we don't involve our academic institutions. Like this work should have been an exercise from your ministry to the University of Juba, Faculty of Economics, to do some work around that. And then you benefit from it. This is what I would like to say. But we don't want to support you blindly. Tell us the figures, and then we can stand by you. Thank you.
My name is Jack Malek, and my comment is solving a problem without solving the root cause of that problem doesn't really come with a solution. What I mean by this is there are known beneficiaries of these subsidies. Yes, there are known ones, but there are unknown ones. If we really find out and research who are these unknown ones, as said by my brother, if you work today in Ireland, these are the main losers, but at the same time, employees are buildings that are not being built somewhere. So what is really the game here? Let's go to the root cause and solve the root cause of the problems. And then later on, we'll come with the best solution. Thank you.
My question is like this. Who should be blamed when the fuel is being subsidized while the transport is still high? Like هسي في شارع تلقى الناس قاعدين يبيعوا في fuel جايبينه بباخات ما عارفين جابوه من وين. يلا لما يجي يمسكوا زول ودوه في محل بوليس تلقى زول كبير بجيب وطلعه. Who are those behind those people? That's what I'm asking.
I'm Zakaria Munyok. I'm a bishop. I would like to ask Honorable